Alright, saddle hunters, well, I'm really excited to be here today. Today I'm going to be reviewing all the 2-panel saddles. I want to see how the saddlebags wear in and out, the lineman loops, ascending and descending the tree. I'm going to sit in each saddle for an hour, and then I will check the bridge for its functionality as far as sliding through the carabiner. Just going to be looking at all the features that each saddle offers and just give you my overall opinion. So just a quick disclaimer, I don't know anybody that works for any of these companies, and I purchased each one of the saddles on my own. I'm going to be able to give you a fair and honest review. Along with that, I want to let you know that all of these saddles will be for sale. If you're interested in purchasing one, just drop me a comment below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Alright, so the first saddle we're going to test out is the Eberhard signature saddle made by Tethrd, the ESS. Okay, so walking in with the ESS, it was really comfortable. The saddlebags did not make the panels slide or sag down. I did use the plastic clips. I don't know if that assisted in keeping the panels up and tight, or if it was just a matter of the waist buckle held it in place. The lineman loops were really easy to use. They're just your standard lineman loops. They're pretty stiff and they stay open. As far as the leg straps, they work just fine. When I did get up in the saddle and get seated, I did have to loosen the straps up. I wouldn't say they were pinching, but they definitely were pulling on my groin, so I just had to loosen them up a little bit. The way they hang from the D-rings, I guess I'm used to them mounting somewhere on the saddle itself. So this does work. It just leaves a lot of gap in here, but when you loosen them up, you don't feel them at all, and they're not really in the way. So as far as the webbing sliding through the D-ring, it actually does a little bit. There is a little bit of movement, so I'll hold my finger right here on the D-ring, and I'm going to lean back and I'll show you there's a little bit of movement. It allows it to pivot just a little bit. It's not very much, but it does stop any type of binding. As far as the bridge sliding through the carabiner, it glides, very little resistance, but you are able to pivot and make shots. I have my tether at forehead height when I'm standing on the platform. I'm going to go ahead and make some small adjustments on the bridge length. To make bridge length adjustments, you got to take your weight off, pull your bridge through to make your bridge adjustments. The panels are nice as far as being able to slide them up your back for more of like a back rest. You can also lower those panels down closer to your hips, as well as lower your bottom panel. You can make numerous adjustments up your back, down your back, both together, both panels together under your butt. Your lower panel you can slide down under your legs. It's just endless adjustability. Due to the overlapping of the lineman's loop in the stitching, you cannot access these first few mollies. They're sewn shut. So you do have to start a little bit further back, which does put your dump pouches on the back corner of your hips. They are harder to see. You can see a little bit, but they do tend to sit back a little. They're also sewn very tight. It took me a few minutes to even get the tri-glide through, as well as the traditional style dump pouch. They were so tight that I had to go over the top webbing of the top panel, and I didn't have a screwdriver with me in my truck. If I did, I probably could have pushed them through with a screwdriver, but they were really sewn tight. As far as making adjustments on the panels, it is a little cumbersome. You really have to hold your weight up with one hand and try to use your other hand to make those panel adjustments. So I have a feeling I'm going to have a hard time putting the panels together with those clips. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'll let you know that once I try to get those together. Alright, my time is up in the ESS. Alright, well, I'm having a hard time getting those two panels to come together in the Kydex clips. So I just pulled them together without putting them in the clips. I'm going to hook up my lineman's rope and descend the tree. Hopefully we'll see how the walkout is with not using the clips. Okay, so I'm back at the truck now with the ESS, and I just wanted to give an update. If you do not get those clips together to hold the panels together, it does sag really bad. All of it is just sagging way down to my knees when I walked out. So that bottom panel will sag way down below your butt if you don't have those clips together. Luckily, Tethrd provides those clips. Those D-rings are also a little bit heavy, and they want to sag. So my overall thoughts on the ESS, walking in with the two panels clipped together, it was very comfortable. It did not sag, even with the dump pouches. The lineman loops are your traditional style, easy to use. The bridge slid through the carabiner nicely. The D-rings functioned properly. I did get about a 1/4 inch movement when I would lean back. You can adjust the panels to just about unlimited settings for comfort. Alright, the next saddle we're going to try out is the Latitude Method 2. Alright, we are now up in the Latitude Method 2. The clock has started. So the walk-in was really comfortable, almost like a hand in glove. Just felt really good. The pouches wore in really well, didn't sag at all. The mollies were really easy to access. Now they only have them on the top panel. They're in a good spot. You can easily look down and see into your pouches on both sides. They do fit your standard molly attachment options, as well as your tri-glide style. Both work very well. They were very easy to get in, and they're very secure. Okay, while sitting in the saddle, I forgot to point out that the Method 2 has thumb loops on each side of the saddle. Those are used to pull the saddle apart once you get in the tree. As far as the leg straps, I wore the leg straps on the walk-in. The leg straps were completely comfortable. I just left them loose, and I didn't even know they were there. So I don't see a reason why you couldn't just leave them on. There's no reason to pack them in and then put them on at the tree unless you just prefer to do that. The lineman loops are nice and big. After you get in the saddle, they expand and open up. When the panels are together, they're more squished down and they stick out far enough forward. Really easy to access. They're just doubled over webbing. They run from your waistband on the top panel all the way down to the bottom of the bottom panel. Alright, as far as the Amsteel bridge, this bridge slides super smooth through the carabiner. This is probably the smoothest sliding bridge out of all the saddles I've tested so far. But it is super smooth, super easy for shots. This bridge is super slick. I like this bridge a lot. Now the bridge also has adjustments, length adjustments on your right side. So you just take off your weight, loosen up that CRUZR, that bite. So there you go, you can change your bridge length. Really easy. Slide that down. And there you go. Now let's test how well the bridge holds up and down the bridge loops. Loosen up that CRUZR. We're almost in the middle there, so we'll go down to the bottom. I don't know if there's a cord inside there, a rope cord or something, but they definitely have something sewn inside. So yes, it held there. So let's move it up to the top. It slides really nice on this bridge loop. So yes, it holds all positions, top, middle, and the bottom. Now as far as the 2-panel, you can pull that up higher on your hips and leave the lower panel down, or you can adjust that lower panel up, or you can adjust the top panel down. There's multiple positions that you can put the saddle in. So now I'm going to sit in the saddle for 1 hour, and then I'll give you my overall impression of the Latitude Method 2. Alright, we are over the 1 hour. Just a quick overview of the Method 2. The Method 2 was super comfortable on the walk-in. The saddlebags did not pull down or make it sag or anything. The molly loops work really well. They're in a really good position. You can see down into your dump pouches nicely. The lineman loops work really well climbing up the tree. The Amsteel bridge is the best sliding bridge so far. There's an adjustment for the length that can be made. It also adjusts up and down the bridge loops, holds in every position. You can fine-tune, adjust the panels anywhere you want them. One concern that I do have that I'm anxious to see how it's going to work out is the magnets. After having a row of dump pouches on here. So I'm just curious to see how easy it's going to be to get that panel up underneath and get those magnets aligned with the dump pouches. Hopefully it'll be easy, but we'll see. Well, that was it. I did it one-handed. The bottom panel slid right underneath the dump pouches, and they're together right now. So I got my answer. I didn't know if it was going to be easy or hard. All right, let's go get the next saddle. All right, so I'm out here at the truck getting ready to get the next saddle, but I did want to point out one thing that came to mind as I was taking off the Method 2. The redesign on the leg strap G-hooks, the retainer clips, they are much easier to get off than the original Method. So I just wanted to point that out. I really like the way they did this redesign. Alright, so the next saddle we're going to test out is the Tactisaddle Adapt. Alright, so the Tactisaddle Adapt is on the board. So on the walk-in, the Adapt leg straps wanted to keep sagging down or hanging down below your pockets. So if you have stuff in your pockets, the leg straps fall below that, and then each step you kind of feel that pulling against your leg kind of horizontally across. It's just the design of the saddle. So I tried to tighten the leg straps up. I pulled them above my pockets, the stuff that's in my pockets, my keys, those types of things, and pulled them tight on both legs and tried to walk in that way. But then I started feeling the leg straps pulling up on my boys, if you know what I'm talking about. So I had to stop and loosen them again. I guess what you could even do is loosen them up really loose, and you might not feel them. But I did want to make you aware of that. So the lineman loops sit a little lower than I'm used to. I'm used to lineman loops coming off of your hip bone region. These are down here. So when you're ascending the tree, it does present a lower pull from your lineman's rope down into below your hips. Just felt a little different to me. They also sit a little further back, so you have to reach back a little farther to attach your carabiner to your lineman's loop. As far as the mollies are really easy to access with either style. Your traditional molly strap with the snap, or your tri-glide. As far as the bridge loops, they have that rubber texture on them, and they do hold on the top and on the bottom. I'll try to make a quick adjustment and show you. So right there, I really feel it across the bottom of my leg, moving it down. So you are able to make bridge adjustments up and down the bridge. The bridge itself, you can also change the length. Or I can make it shorter. As far as the bridge sliding through the carabiner, it's pretty easy. There's a little bit of resistance, but still easy to maneuver a shot. These are 4 second attachment options for safety. A second bridge, you could use your lineman's rope and hook your carabiner in here and run a second bridge if you wanted to. So now I have 2 bridges. I've only been in the saddle for 15 minutes and I'm already feeling a little bit of pressure across the bottom of my legs. So I'm going to try to make an adjustment. I'm going to try moving my bridge up to the high side to try to relieve some of the pressure on my leg. Okay, that did relieve a good bit of the pressure on my legs, but I think basically it just shifted it to my hips. So, alright, we're going to sit for an hour and I'll give you an update at the end. Okay, we're closing in on the last 2 minutes in the Tactisaddle Adapt. So just a brief overview before I get down and head for the next saddle. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit uncomfortable. I feel a lot of pressure under my legs and along my back. I've tried bridge adjustments as far as length. I've tried tether height adjustments. I've tried bridge pitch adjustments up and down the bridge, and I've tried kneeling or sitting as well as standing and leaning, and I've also tried to adjust the panel, the top and bottom panels as far as where they sit. I think this is a great option for the money, $189. As far as it holds the weight of dump pouches walking in, the molly loops are really good. There's plenty of adjustability for someone to get comfortable in this thing. So that's it. I'm over 1 hour. So I'm now going to pack up and go get the next saddle. Alright, the next saddle we're going to try out is the Overwatch Outdoors Transformer. Alright, before we get the saddle on, I just want to let you know that there is a little bit of noise. It's just that plate in the middle kind of bouncing around. Okay, so I wanted to point out a few things with the Overwatch Outdoors Transformer. This is just a prototype saddle. The owner, Jamie, and I, we've talked several times. He did make me aware of what is different on this saddle. I want to point those things out to you before we jump in the tree. So the Cordura panels that you'll get from the factory are 500D Cordura. They're solution dyed. They're a lot softer and quieter. They're not shiny. The Cordura that is on this prototype saddle was just extra material laying around. Everything is the same, it's just a little bit different Cordura. They also are just in coyote tan on this prototype. In addition, there are two different camo patterns that you can get when you order one from Overwatch. You can get a multi-cam as well as a bones cam. Now all of the webbing on the factory saddles are black, and the molly and the leg straps are coyote tan. Also, the bridge on this prototype is different. This is a 8mm Oplux with a 6mm with the Prusik. The factory saddle is 9mm HTP Sterling, so just a few slight differences. However, the functionality and the comfort of this saddle is going to be completely identical. One other thing that I'll point out is that the Overwatch Outdoors Transformer is the only saddle in this review that is not for sale. This saddle does have to go back. Alright, the timer started for the Overwatch Outdoors. So we have 1 hour. So the walk-in was really comfortable. The Transformer fits really nicely. It wears really nicely. The molly loops are in a good position. I think there's 3 different rows of mollies on this saddle. There's 2 rows on the top panel, one across the top, one across the bottom. They also give you these D-rings for hanging gear. You could put a pole rope on there, you could hang your climbing sticks or your platform. There's one on each side. The lineman loops work really nicely. They're enough forward. Again, they're just folded over webbing and reinforced. These are the improved aluminum D-rings. They also connect the saddle. The top webbing on the top panel becomes the top webbing on the bottom panel. The bottom webbing on the top panel feeds through and becomes the bottom on the bottom panel. So again, on this prototype, we have an 8mm Oplux with a figure 8 on one side with 6mm with your Prusik attaching the other side. The only difference is going to be 9mm static rope on the factory saddles. I mean, the Oplux slides really nice, really easy to get a shot any direction. You can also make bridge length adjustments here, only on your right side. Loosen up that Prusik, slide your rope, and that holds really nice. I did separate the panels just a little bit, so it's really nice. These tri-glides hold the 2 panels together with the webbing strap. Your leg straps are attached with this aluminum tri-glide, so you can adjust the length of the straps right here as well as at the buckle. Now the nice thing about this is, on my walk-in, the D-rings and the leg straps were clanking against each other and making a metal noise. So I was able to, on the walk-in, just lower my leg strap buckle from this tri-glide, which shifted the buckle down, and then I just tightened it up right here, and the aluminum D-ring no longer could reach it, and it was completely silent on the walk-in. So with this bridge style, if you want to make adjustments, you can make small adjustments just by where you place the D-ring. It does kind of hold that position. I'll move it up here a little bit. And now it's up on the higher side. So you can still make some small adjustments on the bridge from what I can see. Alright, so we'll sit in the saddle for an hour and I'll give you a final overview before I get down. Okay, so we're just over an hour in the Transformer. The walk-in was really comfortable. Saddlebags wore in really nicely. The mollies are in a good spot. There's plenty of molly options. You can look right down into your pouches and see. The lineman loops worked really nice. The D-rings do make small adjustments on the bridge loops. They're not really big, but there is a little bit of an adjustment you can make that does affect the pitch just a little bit. Has a nice Oplux bridge, and it is adjustable. It adjusted really easily, and it slid through the carabiner pretty nicely. The leg straps functioned properly. As I told you on my walk-in, there was a little bit of noise between the D-rings and the leg buckles, and I lowered the leg buckles down and then snugged them up next to the Raptor buckle so they hung lower, and that eliminated all the noise. The panels are really nice. Basically there's unlimited adjustability. You can move that bottom panel as far down or as far up as you want. You can move that top panel up your waist higher. I was completely comfortable in the saddle the entire time I was up here. The tri-glides in the back cinch the saddle up. So basically now I have a single panel saddle. Very comfortable saddle. So that's going to do it. I'm going to get down and head for the truck. Alright, the next saddle we're going to try is the CRUZR Archon. Alright, we're starting the clock for the CRUZR Archon. So on the walk-in, the CRUZR Archon was really comfortable, like a hand and glove. No sag at all with the dump pouches. The molly loops are far enough forward that you can look straight down into your pouch to access it. The mollies fit your traditional style with the snap as well as your tri-glide style. Both fit really easily and very nicely in there. The loops are a little bigger. You can get a finger in them. They're not sewn too tight, but they're not too loose either. As far as the lineman loops, as you can see, they're big. They stay open. They were really easy to access. The bridge is an AM steel bridge, and it slides really nicely. Really easy to access the shot. The bridge is also adjustable. You just take your weight off, loosen up that prusik knot. You can slide it up or down. And settle right in. It holds its position really well. The bridge is also adjustable on the bridge loops. Let's see how well those hold. So that held all the way down at the bottom. Now let's try moving it up to the top. It holds on the top as well. So you got total adjustability on the entire bridge. So the Archon, the panels separate by those tri-glide buckles in the back with the webbing that holds the two panels together. So to let the panel down, you just put your weight into it, pull up on that tri-glide, pull the panel down, Just repeat the process. You just pull down on the tag end and it should tighten both panels up together. So we'll give the Archon 1 hour and check the comfort, and then I'll do a closing overview. Okay, we're closing in on the final 3 minutes in the CRUZR Archon. So just an overview. The walk-in was super comfortable. The mollies are really good, and your dump pouches attach really well. Tri-glides as well as traditional style molly attachments. They're in a really good spot, really easy to access, really easy to see. Your lineman loops are really big and really nice, really easy to see. Your bridge adjusts completely all the way from top to bottom. Your bridge length makes adjustments. The bridge is AM steel. It slides through the carabiner really well. These tri-glides in the back that hold the two panels together work really well as far as holding the panels together on the walk-in. Overall, very nice saddle. I have absolutely no discomfort. There's tons of adjustability. You can move the top panel up, you can move the bottom panel down. So with that being said, we are closing in on the final 30 seconds. So I'm going to start wrapping it up and get out of here. Alright, well that's going to do it for the 2-panel Ultimate Saddle Review 2.0. Now I'm going to put all of the information that I've gathered from all of these sits into the Ultimate Saddle Review spreadsheet. You're going to find that spreadsheet in the description box below. Okay, so you're probably wondering what my overall pick was from these 5 2-panel saddles. Just to remember, I purchased all of these saddles with the exception of the Transformer, which is a prototype. That's being sent back, so I owe nobody anything. I'm able to give you an honest opinion, and that's all this is. This is just my opinion. If I had to pick solely based on comfort alone, I would have to say there's a 3-way tie. The CRUZR Archon, the Latitude Method 2, and the Overwatch Outdoors Transformer were equally comfortable. I could not pick one over the other. Now I will say there will be a saddle that probably turns out to be an overall winner, and that will be determined on my Ultimate Saddle Review spreadsheet, which is in the description box below. So if you want to see what I felt was the overall winner, which is not just based on comfort, it's based on functionality, comfort, all the pros and cons, ordering options, price, all of it plays in to what I feel is the ultimate saddle. If you want to know what that saddle is going to be, you're going to have to click on the description box below once I tabulate everything and put everything together. If you just want to know what I found to be the most comfortable and throw away all the other stuff, those 3 saddles, in my opinion, were a tie. I could not pick one over the other. As always, I thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my channel. It's really appreciated. I hope that I've earned your like and subscribe. And if you hit that bell notification, you can see more reviews similar to this in the future. I hope you guys have the opportunity to go enjoy your own adventures. Take care.